You ready to get from behind these lies? The unapologetic guide to Black mental health. And this is why it is, number one, I know I don't stand alone. It's like I wrote this book. She speaks what I already know, because more times than not, we all identify we are more alike than we are not. And that pretending ain't saving nobody's life. It's time to get real and heal and survive. Check this out. Suicide wasn't supposed to be a part of the culture. Even if you do not go to church regularly, you have done so at some point in your life. This is true for most Black people. As a result, church pastors tend to have a finger on the pulse of what it means to be Black in the United States. In a research study that was conducted in the early 90s, church pastors were asked their opinions about Black suicide. They responded by saying that suicide was a denial of Black identity and culture. To them, being Black is about struggle. There are no easy answers or easy outs. The overreaching message for the pastors was that suicide is hear me now, it's a white thing, another lie. And that Black people are resilient because of the history of struggle and making a way despite being left out of mainstream society politically, economically, and socially. Now, this might have been true for the baby boomers or before, less suicide. It's definitely not relevant today. Black people are unaliving themselves every day. I think that the church pastors who were interviewed were correct about suicide beliefs in the community then, and they would be correct about the beliefs today. Nothing is so hard that a Black person could take his or her own life, right? Wrong. We assume that a weak or selfish person might kill him or herself, and that a strong-minded Black person would not do such a thing. Suicide is presumably not what Black people do. We do now. The accepted definition of suicide is death from injury, poisoning, or suffocation where there is evidence that the person who died intended to kill oneself. Because we assume that Black people are resilient no matter the circumstance, no Black person would indeed want to die. This is part of the cultural force that is driving our conversations about anxiety and depression underground. A lot of y'all are depressed. A lot of y'all are running around here anxious and afraid, nervous. I didn't find out what anxiety was. I heard of it, but I never experienced it until post-COVID. I walked around very nervous, fearful, with no true meaning. It's a real thing. Ain't nothing about me crazy, but I'm honest. I have life that has happened to me, and the beautiful part about it, God came and dealt with me and helped me to deal with myself and to get well, and he said, go help somebody as I help myself. You got a lot of you older people over here on Facebook, and if you don't like it, then don't follow, because you ain't gonna shut me up. You ain't gonna make me mind my business. But what you will do is understand. I'm gonna keep talking. We just pray. I took God to therapy with me. Life happens to all of us at some point, collectively yet differently, but life will happen because that is life. Every day is not going to be a good day, and there will come a time where you will suffer and you will have challenges that you are not necessarily prepared for. Death, depression, alcoholism, drugs. A lot of y'all is recovering dope heads, let's be honest, and then y'all want to get out here and be sophisticated and say it's only us talking about each other. No, it's time we talk. It's time we telling the truth. It's time we get from behind these lies and survive. I'm sick of this mess, and it's just time to address it. It's time to address it. Can you imagine being the only psychologist in a large Black family? Just like many other families, we do not talk about the things that are right in front of us. We didn't when I was a child, though I can add that I did not know much as a child because, like you, I was not allowed in grown folks' conversation. See, this is the Facebook people. You all need to understand that life ain't what it used to be, and y'all way wasn't necessarily the best way either, because we in this mess too because we didn't know what we didn't know. We gotta let go of of old, and grow. That's not to let go of religion and God and the things that worked. But some of y'all so narrow-minded, you can't tell you nothing and you ain't helping nobody. As an adult, however, I know for sure that we still do not talk about realities that stare us in the face. It is one thing to endeavor to embrace a family member despite the fact that he hears voices. It is another thing altogether to refuse professional help and hope that the problem will go away with prayer and rabbit tobacco. I don't know what rabbit tobacco is, maybe y'all do. Taking a vitamin or herbs and hoping for the best is not going to help a relative who is upset by the voices in his head. I know quite a few people that were born with challenges, illnesses, defects, and their immediate family, parents, what have you, said ain't nothing wrong with them. Never did get them no help, and they should have been in all kind of therapy, all kind of programs. And fast forward, they was set up for failure. Again, hiding behind these lies, denial is a disease. Denial to get people the resources that they need. It's a shame. It's a shame, and I'm gonna talk about it. Things will not change unless we actually do something. Find a competent professional. Take medication as prescribed. And let me tell you this, people that take medication, culturally, we have this mindset that, people that take medication, they crazy. If y'all don't get behind them damn lies and crazy, what's crazy is to sit there to have conditions and symptoms and you ain't doing nothing about it. You have normalized, not living healthy. There is medication out there that can help you be normal. Normal pills is what I call them. So you ain't wilding out. Some of y'all act crazy as ever by going off, not being able to restrain and, sustain your level of calm and demeanor and just wild act a fool. That's crazy. But somebody takes some medicine so they don't act like that. They crazy as hell. You better get your ass on out of here, because we ain't playing no more. And I'm not going to start cussing, but I wanted to say it like I said it. So excuse me, y'all. Carry on. The things will not change unless we actually do something. Find a competent professional, take medication as prescribed, and go to group therapy for support. Amen. Group therapy was one of the best things that ever happened to me back in 2019. In the Black community, very few people feel that they have someone reliable and trustworthy to call. As a result, the interplay of stigma, limited knowledge, unexpressed pain, and lack of access conspires to keep many families from overcoming unnecessary cycles of hurt. It is time for a shift. It is time to have more honest conversations. Hello, somebody. If you are going to reinforce your mind, we are going to have to be honest about the problem at hand. And let me tell you this. A lot of people have strained relationships within their family, with their children. A lot of adult children have strained relationships with their parents and they don't want no part of them. And the parents are so stuck in their ways that the relationship ain't went nowhere. This is what I know to be true. Some people you do have to sever ties with, but comes a time where you also have to look at yourself and know that everything that you talk about or you believe in isn't necessarily the answer for everybody. We want to apply our way totally on other people's. Now, when it goes against your safety and things of that nature, then you have a stance and a bottom line and don't let nobody cross it. But some of y'all just arrogant as hell and don't want nobody to do it any other way than what you think is best. And quite frankly, the truth is, your way might not work for everybody. I'm just now getting started. If you don't follow me,